Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, trophy hunters of all ages. This is the 17th episode of the Raw Cuts Gaming Podcast.
Woo!
Woo!
Ow, ow,
Officially
ow.
launch week, boys.
Oh
We've
boy.
made it. We've
Next
made
gen
it
time.
through an election. We've made it through the pandemic, and now
We're mid pandemic.
But we're now at
Slow your roll, George W. Bush.
Yeah, that's
Slow
right.
your roll.
Victory.
I'm your host tonight, CJ, aka
AKA.
Solo Gamer, aka the Trophy Hunter, and I'm joined by Mr. Clothing Option himself, most definitely not a noob, Big D, aka the Flashin' Gamer. He is hot, and we're joined by, as always, the hot taking, Twitter beef making, most definitely a mediocre player, was the AKA the Mav, AKA the Michael Scott, AKA the Wayne Gretzky, AKA the man who doesn't 100% of the shots you don't take,
Or games you don't play.
or games you don't play. Pile of shame. So we got the trifecta here again tonight. And we thank you, the listener, for tuning into all the rarest takes in the gaming podcast sphere. As always, we bring you our own unique takes on all things video games, all while recording and publishing our episodes edit-free. As always, we bring you to all the podcast via all the listening staples every Tuesday. You can catch a show on Apple, Spotify, Google, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Publics, and Anchor. And you can also catch the show on YouTube via our channel, the Raw Cuts Gaming channel on YouTube if you want to watch us. And that's that. So as we have a lot to get to tonight, boys, so let's get into it. We are going to get into what we've been playing. We're going to get into the news, a whole pile of news this week. The Trophy Hunter is going to go back in time and talk about Demon Souls.
Nice.
We're going to talk about I already talked about, or I'm going to talk about the newly listed PlayStation 5 listo trophies. You'll have to find out. And we'll get an update on what Woods is buying this week. So, that being said, Big D, what you been playing?
Well, I think we got on a couple times this week. We rounded the horn on the usual bases. We Modern Warfare did pretty well there.
Shout out
Played some Rocket League. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, Alex was playing with us. That was fun.
Lexi.
Yeah, sexy Lexi. Rocket League, Fortnite. We got a couple more victory royales. So
nice.
Good times.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about it for me.
Woodsy, what you been rocking this week, man?
Man, I would like to say, as the season now calls for it, a cornucopia of games were played this week by myself. So, golly gee. Yeah, played some Fortnite. Check. Definitely played Rocket League. Check. Got dubs in both. Check. Call of Duty. Check. Warzone. Check.
Oh,
normal
co-op.
multiplayer.
Yeah, we were playing co-op.
Normal multiplayer and co-op, and we did co-op. We did everything.
Yeah, we did.
And played Vermintide 2.
Oh, did you fire it up?
Fired up Vermintide 2.
Nice. So we're ready to multiplayer that shiz?
At What Up McNutty.
Ryan, you fucking bastard.
With another couple of randos. It was fun. It was fun. It's interesting because it's just like it's like Left 4 Dead meets hack it / medieval / magic.
Yeah, almost like a Diablo.
Yeah, but
it was
like,
kind of similar, but
yeah.
the different viewpoint and graphics and stuff.
Right. And well, and it's like Left 4 Dead, where you're a team. You just keep getting attacked. And you gotta get from point A to point B and survive effectively. And it's good and it's hard. I like it. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Another game I played. Well, I did play more Sniper Elite 3, but not much. So it wasn't. I had an exceptionally busy week of work last week, and some things were falling down in the house. Like I didn't have a furnace for a minute. And by a
Good
minute,
thing to
I
have
mean,
in the upper Midwest.
yeah. So that sucked. So I was dealing with some things last week, so I didn't have enough time on the weekday to do any streams in the evening. Unfortunately, so I will try to do a longer play and stream of Sniper Elite 3 this week, and then I played another couple games that hadn't really played. I didn't play any FIFA or GT this week.
Oh.
And I played a little bit of Donut County. I continued those two, but no FIFA, no GT. It was kind of crazy. I did, however, play a game called Titan Souls, which is the best way I can describe it is like a NES version or maybe an SNES version graphically of like Zelda. No, definitely NES version. But Dark Souls. So,
Excuse me?
yes, exactly. So all you're doing, like your only adversaries though are the bosses. Like there's no like minions. It's not really an RPG, but you go from boss fight to boss fight to boss fight, and it's hard. It's hard as fuck. Good. It's good. Like you can tell this is a game you have to be really good at to play. And beat. It's hard and it's good. So again, yeah, Titan Souls. And I was inspired to, after playing Titan Souls and getting my ass kicked there, to go jump in Bloodborne and get my ass kicked there some more.
Holy shit, way to bury the lead.
So damn son, I'm still in that same level. I can't get past this like parade of bad dudes on the ground floor. Like I feel like I'm 10 minutes into this game and I still can't move forward.
This is Bloodborne you're talking about?
Yeah, it's that mob.
When you got to do that, yeah.
It's the mob, and actually I was getting real close, real close. I was like down to the last like 5 or 6 guys in that mob. Like I kept slowly like fishing them out and then taking 2 of them at a time. That was my strategy, and it was working for the most part. But I was playing online, and before I knew it, some dude who must have been like those, like the weird multiplayer that this game has, came into the level and sniped my ass from behind, dead.
Brutal.
What an asshole.
Welcome to. I know it's not, but welcome to Dark Souls.
So do I need to straight up turn that off? First life lesson?
No. But as a pro tip, there aren't any characters really in majority of Dark Souls levels that you have to kill everyone. So you are welcome to run around said mob. I know exactly where you are. And if you're running into a brick wall there, run around the crowd. Proceed on. Unlock shortcuts. And proceed.
Okay.
You don't have to take that full mob on. That mob is specifically meant there to be a wall of issues, and it actually is encouraging you. Yep, it's encouraging you to learn how to fish out the enemies, but it's also encouraging you to.
Okay. So you fish out that first like big group of 6 of them, run around them, then figure out how to run around the other group.
Yeah. Just get around them. Just run past them. They'll eventually stop. Their AI leash is not very long, so once you kind of get past them and get through the little gate there on the other side,
it's soul crushing. It's soul crushing.
Man, let me tell you, man. Like one of the things with the Dark Souls games that I enjoy so much is when you beat one of the bosses, and I know you're not to the boss yet, but you're on that thread of your life, and you're going toe to toe with them, and you beat them. The rush you get from beating a boss in a game like that versus say beating a God of War boss or a Spider-Man boss, it's not comparable, man. It's
sure.
But yeah, run around those cholos.
So you got to check out Titan Souls now. Find it on a sale and get it. I'm telling you.
Okay. Hey, you saw me perk up when I heard that. So. Right. So for me, this is the first week I have not played Fortnite since buying the season pass. I think. So I finally kind of put that one to rest. I'll always be willing to hop on it and play with you guys. It is like the one multiplayer game I really enjoy playing. But I've been playing some Final Fantasy VII, not as much as I'd like. I was really hoping to finish the game before Thursday, and I don't think it's going to happen at this point. I'm on chapter 14 of I think 18 or 19.
CJ, hold on. What's on Thursday?
Thursday happens to be, as I alluded to earlier, it's the end of the pandemic, as I mentioned, and also
victory.
the release of the new consoles. So
Nice.
Thursday, I will hopefully be getting a PlayStation 5 in. Although, I'm not going to believe until it
Xbox is
shows up.
tomorrow. When this goes
Xbox
live tomorrow, Xboxes will be in people's
When
hands.
you
Wow.
see this episode post, hopefully all you Xbox fans out there should have an Xbox at your door, hopefully waiting for you, if you're able to get a hold of a pre-order. But I was hoping to beat the game by Thursday, and I'm on, like I mentioned, 14 of 18 or so. But I got stuck on chapter 14. Chapter 14 opens up, and I won't get into spoilers or anything, but there's a whole bunch of side missions you can do. And I was very dead set on going for the platinum in this game. However, I ran into a trophy. It's a pull-up challenge. So you go to a gym, and you got to do a pull-up challenge. You challenge one of their gym owners to a pull-up challenge, and what you got to do is you got to push button prompts. And the button prompts are random. I mean, it stays random, but you got to go 40 seconds in pushing these button prompts. So it's like triangle X, circle, square, triangle X, circle, square.
Right.
And it gradually gets quicker and quicker.
Simon. Right.
Yep, but then the display disappears, so you have to kind of get used to the timing, right? So you can't fall at all once you get to the boss of the area. So within 80-second time span, you can't fall, and he hits like, let's say 40 reps or something, 40 to 45 reps, and unless you go extremely quick, you're not going to get there. So I spent 2 nights trying to get this fucking trophy, and just failing time.
Oh my God.
So
wait,
2
what?
nights ago or something, I think.
You spent 2 nights in a row trying to sequence this one pull-up boss battle.
Yeah. So the night y'all were playing with Alex,
Yeah.
I was sitting there doing that pull-up challenge, and that's how you heard me say "fuck" every so often because I get close. But the highest I ever got was like, I needed to get to 45 was the magic number allegedly you needed to get to. There's no
How did you
scamming
not
it.
bury your controller in your brand new television screen?
There was some frustration.
That would happen to me.
Well, I was really just so I did make a manual save right before that challenges, so in case I get that gets to the whole PlayStation 5 and why I'm excited for it, because once you fall, I'd quit out, reboot back in, and start over again. Well, the loading time is 30 seconds or so, and so once I get that sexy load times allegedly that the PlayStation 5 has, I can go even more crazy. But I eventually gave up, and I said, you know what, the platinum may not be for me in this game, and continued on. So now I've played about one more night and gotten towards the end of chapter 14, but I still got a ways to go yet before, so I don't think it's going to happen before launch. So we'll see. So Final Fantasy VII Remake for me this week.
Nice.
Do it.
So let's get into the news, because we got a whole pile of news to get to. So last week we started out the show talking about some of the embargoes that were lifted, the DualSense controller. People started talking about that. But this week was the big release date. So this past Friday, the embargo lifted on the consoles and a whole slew of games that we'll get into. But the Xbox Series X and Series S reviews both dropped, along with the PlayStation 5. So you can go to file whatever site you want, but just for reference sake, IGN gave the X an 8 and the S a 7, while they gave the PlayStation 5 an 8 also. And the big difference with the S being the storage, the limited storage space, and the power, and they're kind of the notes there were kind of, hey, the S is going to be great for your secondary console, but if you really want the full experience, go with the X. So. Did you guys read into the reviews at all, and move the needle for you at all?
Yes, I read plenty of those reviews. Nothing shocking, I would say. So all the games that came out looked like they're interesting, and a lot of good reviews on that new controller. So graphics look awesome. Like, it just kind of what I expected.
Woodsy, anything kind of? I mean, we'll get into the gripes here in a little bit, but anything kind of trip your fancy about any of the reviews that dropped on Friday from the console specifically? We'll get into the games a little bit later.
The one takeaway, well, the 2 takeaways, I guess, that I had was that all this touting of various like stages of graphical fidelity for the Xbox and the PlayStation's inability to do complicated such things as ray tracing, like according to companies such as Digital Foundry and others that the ray tracing, by all accounts, looks better on the PlayStation than it does on the Xbox, which is kind of apparently surprised everybody. The other thing is the comparison videos that have come out for load times for at least backwards compatible games, right? Between the PlayStation 5 and the Series X, and really how it showed that in some cases the PlayStation 5 is actually slower than the Xbox Series X, and in others it's just, well, it's not as fast as you'd expect it to be.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see how the backwards compatibility works. It'll be one of the first things we try is will Assassin's Creed Syndicate work? You know, I mean, we still have an answer for that. I'm a little surprised that all these reviews have come out that no one's come out, and I don't know if they're embargoed on which games do and don't work at all. 'Cause I'd imagine one of the first things one of these people come out and say is, "Hey,
validate all the shit we're
you
currently
saw-
wondering."
Yeah, or I mean, and not necessarily all the games, but the ones that are now in confusion that are now up for debate, right?
Well,
I'm
right, and
surprised
just
that
like
other
us,
answers
like
come out and-
fire your external in there and just try and play what you've been playing, right? Like for us, you're gonna fire a hard drive in there and try and fire up Rocket League or just something you already have. How did one of these guys not do
some of
that?
these games are going to be interesting. I don't know exactly how it's going to work because, you know, we can get into the gripes right now, but one of the big gripes is storage, right? So
You heard it here first.
Well, yeah, I mean, so the way the storage goes, we can get into it here in a second, but it's what 680 gigs or something of usable storage.
Correct.
And you cannot add any additional internal storage at the launch.
Correct.
They've said they will support it eventually. Who knows when? But you can also put an external drive in. However, you cannot play your PlayStation 5 games off that, which is not so much a surprise. The big surprise is you can't store games on there.
Right. Which is one of the things we were heavily speculating on was, that's okay. I'll just I'll just always
demote
have room to do a transfer of one to the other, and it'll take 5 minutes. And
Right.
I'll be able to fire it up. And then turns out, nope.
I'm surprised you can't store games on there.
Yeah, I would imagine that's going to be one of the first hotfix patches is going to be the ability to basically demote a game to your USB drive.
Right.
Because it becomes unplayable from everything we've heard.
Yeah, as long as you can't play it, why
Right.
can't you just store it on there? And so where it gets interesting to the point you made though, D, was Rocket League, right? You get the free Rocket League upgrade or something to the PlayStation 5 version. Well, now it's a PlayStation 5 game technically versus a PlayStation 4 game, and you can't play it on. So is it a mandatory free upgrade, or is it you go to the web store and you say, I want to download the PlayStation 5 version, I want to download the PlayStation 4 version of Fortnite? Can you choose which of the two?
That's a good thing. I never
Well,
thought about that.
I would think that you should be able to, or maybe it'll prompt you if you want the PS5 version.
I'm guessing you're going to go to the storefront and it's going to say download to PlayStation, and it's going to be the PlayStation 5 version. So you have to do some tomfuckery and go in through your PlayStation 4 maybe, or maybe through the web app and pick it. I don't know if they'll even show certain PlayStation 4 games or have both. I don't know. I guess
Well, can't you...
the way the current store was, you know, with 3 and 4 was you'd see both. Like one time I mistakenly bought a PlayStation 3 game because I wasn't paying attention and I was purchasing it. So they may show both on there, but you know the storefront's still, you know, unknown.
So you're not going to have to re-download all your PS4 games, right? So if all my shit that's on my external, I can unplug and just plug in the PS5, right?
Supposedly, yes.
So that's where it gets interesting, right? Because like Fortnite and all that shit, I could just transfer to that and plug it in. What happens then?
Nothing.
So then I would guess nothing.
But what he's talking about is
if I re-download it.
If they differentiate the actual versioning of via the update of like the updated graphics. So then at that point, if it goes from being well, this was a PlayStation 4 game, now it's technically a PlayStation 5 game.
Right now it's locked.
Fucked.
Yeah.
The way it would work on Xbox, from what I understand, is since they have their awesome, version control that they have for Xbox. And I think it would automatically update to place the one the Series X version. PlayStation, knowing PlayStation, they probably won't. You have to literally go into the store and choose it. So it's very curious as to the storage thing, because that definitely is a gripe. My biggest gripe is I go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, say your biggest gripe first.
So my gripe is that
I have a theory about this.
I mean, I think my theory on the internal storage is just too expensive at this point right now, and the technology isn't quite up to par. So I'm not as upset that it's not ready. I mean, it'd be nice if it was ready at launch, but I'm not upset because they will have that in the future. I'm really pissed that you can't store games on the external. Yeah. Just storing it, man. Store it on there and then let me transfer it over.
It's fucking dumb, and it sucks. And this is one of many oversights, in my opinion, by PlayStation.
Because they rushed it.
I was, but I have a theory. So including it takes into account what you were just saying, CJ, is that these solid state drives, the technology just isn't there yet, insofar as Correct. It hasn't been around and established long enough to kind of will the have like really optimized standards. 1, 2.
Well, it's a new standard.
From a production standpoint, it's not ubiquitous enough for the memory storage per dollar ratio to come down anywhere near what it actually needs to for this to make this a viable storage solution for a lot of people. And then those things, combined with the fact that we've already established that games are probably going to be the exact same size, if and around what their versioning was for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, that you're just frankly not going to be able to have that many games installed at any given time. So, if you, and this is something I mentioned to you guys, if it's between, for me, buying like a game that is never going to leave my console because I'm going to play it all the goddamn time, which will be Gran Turismo 7. Whenever that comes out, that's going on my hard drive, and it's like going to have this place of permanence, right? Mm-hmm.
And you don't care.
And I don't care.
Right.
The Assassin's Creed, Call of Duties, Battlefields, the new Hitman, so on and so forth. All these games are coming out. All those games are going to be huge, size-wise.
Yep. You'll be able to do about 3, is my guess. Right. Maybe 4.
So because of my inability, due to storage constraints, to have a number of games available on my PlayStation at any given time, and for context, I have a total of 6 terabytes to play with right now, and I'm already maxed out on my PlayStation 4, and I do have to shuffle from my extended library, especially my pile of shame. So 650 gigabytes or whatever the fuck it is nothing. It's nothing.
Correct.
Will this limitation for people who like to have a broad catalog?
Nice.
Thank you. That's like calling a janitor a whatever engineer, right?
Sanitation.
Sanitation. But will this ultimately affect, in the short term, the amount of games people buy?
Yeah, I think you're going to end up with more people waiting, because how many day ones, like to your point, how many day ones can you go get now? Like, it's not going to be worth it to go buy the new Spider-Man and Demon Souls and like
NBA
1 or
2K
2 others,
and Madden,
because your shit's going to be full.
Call of Duty,
and now I have to delete and re-download. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, so for me, that it's actually huge, because I'm one of those people that will piss me off to no end, having to re-download the game, and I just will not. I refuse. And I'm actually well, like, and again, this goes to the design thing, and them
And that's
pretty
especially
confident rushed it to market.
Especially because of PlayStation 5, right? Because we were theorizing, okay, if it's on this other hard drive,
Right.
I can at least transfer back and forth, and it'll take
Right.
like 10 fucking minutes or 15 minutes, whatever the fuck.
And I was wondering why they
Now
didn't
I
have a
now I'm at the
performance
mercy
test
of
for
my
external.
ISP.
Yeah.
Right, I'm at the mercy of my ISP again.
Because if I go out and get a 4 TB SSD and I put it into USB, why the hell can't you test that and let me use it? Because that shit will transfer at whatever speed, but whatever. My other gripe there was, why didn't they foresee this, as this is easily foreseeable, and why is there only one M2 slot for expansion? Like, that shit's as small. Those things are like this big.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Like, why is there not? They knew that there was only going to be 2 TB available at launch. Why not put 3 of those slots in there? Who gives a shit?
Right.
Like, especially if you're going to lock all this shit down and only let me put it internal on the SSDs. Like, holy shit. Like, think about it, man.
Right.
Having the slots there can't cause that much more space in the big ass thing anyway. So
right, I mean, the thing's 18 feet long anyway.
And really, legitimately, who the fuck that buys digital games or even games? Period. Because if it's the disc version, it's still gonna have to install the whole fucking. The disc is basically DRM at this point. Right. The whole thing fucking installs on your goddamn console anyway. So. Who the fuck is only going to have like 4 games, 5 games?
I don't know, man.
So, D, how far off do you think this tech is from becoming more consumer ready?
It's consumer ready. So the issue was that it was a brand new standard. So instead of being behind like the PS4 was at launch with their USB speeds and things like that, because they decided to go on an older standard, they decided to ratify or put in the brand new version 4 standard of PCIe, and so they've just started making drives with version 4, which is why you can't find them in the densities that we want. So since they scale everything these days pretty quickly, as more people buy them, by I would think next Christmas you're already going to see 4 tears or 8 tears possibly at the price that the 2 tears are at now.
So roughly
it'll happen quick, but that's a year of, like you guys were saying, man, that's a year of
but even still
3 games around.
An 8 terabyte is still probably going to run you $350.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So the price of the 2 TB is today, which is $350 or whatever that was. Yeah, $350, $400 for 2. That's what it'll be 4 or 6 or 8 next year. But that's a long time to wait and shuffle 4 games around.
For me, it sucks because I like you guys have like I think I'll have like 4 terabytes already full, but for me, I usually only play 1 or 2 games at a time. Now I'm definitely gonna be annoyed, but unlike you guys who hop from 5 or 6 games a night, I'm usually playing Fortnite and then whatever game I'm playing at the moment. So
that's true. And you're trying to
I don't particularly like the idea of deleting games from my console. So I like having my little folder of all my Yakuza games all lined up right in a row that I've beaten. But once I beat them, usually or platinum them, I just need to get used to for the foreseeable future.
Just uninstalling them.
So it sucks. So some additional gripes other than storage is there are no folders in the next UI. There's no
what?
There's no folders. They got rid of the folder system.
That's weird.
But I guess if you only store 3 games,
5 games on there.
Well, what do you need folders for? You can only put 3 games on the bastard.
Yeah.
the
game 1, game 2, game 3.
Yeah.
Themes are also gone because now when you blade from game to game, and each game has their own theme essentially, kind of like when you pull down the PlayStation 4 now, they have their whatever background. So that's why they got rid of the themes. I'm not saying I like it because I like shuffling themes.
Dumb.
Yeah. Just
takes away some of that personalization, so that I could see where the gripe is there.
And I'm gonna, like I mentioned, miss the.
I don't like my theme to be dictated by the game I'm playing. That's just odd.
I think they're going for a UI thing.
I'm playing is like the theme I install, but that's just it. I play it. But Another gripe is that PS5 doesn't support USB save transfers, so you can
I
transfer.
thought that's how they said that worked.
You can transfer your USB PlayStation 4 saves to your PlayStation 5.
Right?
However, you cannot back up your PlayStation 5 saves to a USB stick. The only way
I've
you
never done that, so I don't give a fuck.
Okay, well, some people are crazy out there and transfer their saves to a USB stick. The cloud saves are locked behind the PlayStation Plus subscription, so people don't have PlayStation Plus subscriptions. And trophy scammers like myself will sometimes be known to back a save up to a USB stick, beat the game, reload my USB save from before, rebeat the game, pick a different. AKA.
That's what this is about. That's what this is really fucking about. Don't even all that other shit didn't fucking matter. Talk about burying the lead, you son of a bitch. That's what this is about. Your fucking digital trophies.
So it's an annoyance for all the trophy hunters out there in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
The battery life of the controller is up for debate right now. Some people come out and say the controller lasts for 2 hours. Well, GameSpot, for example, has said that the battery life of the controller is on par with the DualShock controller, which anger some people because the DualShock controller didn't have the best battery life in the world. That was another one of the annoyances. Any thought on battery life from you guys at all, or no?
Well, I feel like my DualShock lasts. It's got to be 6 or 7 because if we start at 8 or 9, it goes all the way till 2, and I don't have a problem.
That's what I was talking with you too. Yeah, I usually charge mine every night, so I've never run into the problem.
Curious. It seems though that the amount of power that your controller has is heavily dictated by the amount of haptic feedback features within the game itself and the trigger shit. All that shit seems to highly dictate the amount of battery life your controller is worth.
So are people playing like Astrobot, only getting like 2 hours?
Bingo.
Yeah.
So that's the rumor. So, but I guess that'll be one of the things that the tests that will come out here in the early phases of it. So.
Well, people better get used to buying one extra and keeping it on the tree.
I've got plenty listed here, so you guys can get all your gripes out, because I know you guys are excited about some of these. The PlayStation 5. This is not a gripe per se, but this gets into the size of it. On Push Square article, the PlayStation 5 design was actually much larger than what it is now. The guy who mocked it up actually brought it to the engineers, and there's like too big, you know.
Better cut some of those M2 slots out of there. What the fuck are they going to need 4 for?
That's exactly what I was hoping you were going to go to. So I was internally smiling when we were talking about cutting out these M2 spots.
I love large corporations. I bet you guys $100 that shit happened. It was bigger because they were like, man, I bet we have some storage problems with this thing. And then they're like, nah, man, that shit's too big. We better cut those out. No one's going to notice. Does that not sound like a big company to you?
Yeah.
Oh, man,
exactly.
That's funny.
Let's see, what else do I have?
Jesus Christ, was it its own entertainment center? Like you just order it and it is the entertainment center? You store shit in it?
It's the size of my coffee table, so I have a coffee table under my TV right now. So the resolutions.
That's a great
options,
beat, by the way.
The resolution options are some of the other complaints. You're kind of excited about this one.
Oh no, that was Woods. He didn't think that was necessary. But it was the support for 1444p.
Right. Initially,
but he reconsidered.
Well, I decided I would check into the seriousness of this issue, and
what is the issue? Let's get into the issue.
So the PS5 right now does not support 1444p. In order to upscale it to 4K and make it look better than 1080p upscaled to 4K. Am I right there, Woods? You're more on the
it's
display side.
it's just a true. It's not even about upscaling. It's just about. It's a true format in and of itself, but evidently, a number of streamers and PC monitor-based players are up in arms about this because I guess this format kind of came into fruition between the
1080p and 4K.
1080p, yeah, for a lot of
Got it.
those folks, and I guess the benefit to a lot of these monitors was they all like defaulted to 120 hertz refresh rate as well, so they gained, I guess, a decent amount of popularity amongst that group. And now that they're no longer being supported, it's for predominantly streamers and people who like to game on like PC screens and their smaller.
Well, I would think streamers do that a lot, right? Because you got probably TV capture cards and whatever.
Well,
on
there's a lot of people who are in like, rooms like you and CJ, who that's your gaming room, and it more or less looks like a glorified office space, right? So there's a lot of people who game that way, I guess, and so that's why it's a bigger issue than I was aware of. So, and from everything else I've read about it, it seems like horrendous that this was an oversight by Sony to leave this out, and it doesn't make sense that they would just arbitrarily like leave that out, because it could have been implemented very easily, and I'm sure it's something that they could fix in a software update or firmware. That's
what I was going to ask.
But they have come out and said they're just not going to support it, and that just, and I guess maybe that's just like it doesn't support it from the initial go, or we're just not supporting it for arbitrary reasons. So it's unclear, as is a lot of the messaging from Sony. But I think if there's enough of a outcry, that will be something that does get patched through a firmware update. But I guess it's such a silly oversight and an easily implemented thing to accommodate. And why did they miss the boat?
My guess would be it has something to do with resizing all the games and whatever for those different resolutions, and they just didn't want to deal with it.
That's fair. Dude, my fucking television can resize into like 40 different fucking formats.
Yeah, yep. And they do still do 720. So based on the PlayStation.
Then I'm in Woods' camp. Then it's just another resolution that they needed.
They had like 6 or 7 resolution. Like I don't remember what it was exactly, but side note here. If any of you want to go to the PlayStation blog, get a big data dump. PlayStation.blog. If you want to go through it, it gets into a lot of the nitty gritty of like the weights and the resolution support and a lot of the stuff we're talking about here. So if you want to get into and read about it, go check out the PlayStation blog. And I'm kind of vamping while I look for this article here, or the portion of it. But 720 was it definitely there, but like you mentioned, that is definitely omitted there from the 1440. So
yeah, well, that's a weird choice then. I agree.
And then speaking that I was getting to the bearing of the lead, my biggest gripe about anything is at launch, PlayStation is not supporting the quick resume feature that Xbox have, where you can jump between 6 games or so.
That's what we need to talk about that I was trying to think about before.
I thought it might be.
Fucking ridiculous.
What the fuck?
Just
so I think
absolutely fucking like, okay, CJ, we talked about this a little bit, right? And as you kind of stated earlier, from a storage point of view, you're not ultra concerned with it because you kind of like, if you're playing Final Fantasy VII or whatever, you're playing it till you platinum it, and then it's on to the next. You're not really in a rotation between a few games. If anything, it's like Fortnite plus whatever single player game you're racking up, right?
Yeah.
So this possibility of this not working didn't really affect you necessarily.
Well, I think it might have. Well, I think it affected. Well, I don't want to say as much because you guys jump between 5 or 6 games, but now that the quick resume isn't there, I was really banking on like, hey, you guys, like, hey, you twist my arm enough to go play some Fortnite while it's
just pop
Final Fantasy VII, hop directly into Battle Royale mode, and I'm there. I think PlayStation was rusty on I think 2 things. I think one, they were really relying on, hey, this game's going to boot like a speed demon when you're booting it up, so you don't really need this suspend state. But the one other thing is I think Xbox caught them with their pants down. I don't even think that they thought that was a possibility or whatnot. And I think it was just a really good idea that Xbox had that PlayStation didn't.
Well, and I don't know if Xbox was stealing all of their good designers and engineers, or architects, I should say, because
Right.
like that should have been one of the first things they thought of was with
Right.
all these extra hardware or all this extra hardware and better hardware. Like, how can we pause games
There's
and then
there's
launch other ones?
there's also shit that blows my mind that it's not supporting either. And that's Dolby Vision and Atmos.
Yeah,
Which-
audio stuff. Like
Well,
it's
audio and
100%
video.
geared for their headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I get that, but you could still do Dolby Vision. They just don't want to pay the licensing fee for it. That's the truth. But it's like widely accepted as the best formatted visual style and I guess visualization that is possible. It's phenomenal. And they're not supporting it. Like, part of the reason I got my TV that I got, which is a couple-year-old LG OLED now, was because it supported Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, which is the sound, right? It's the new Dolby Digital
Yep.
surround. That's their new thing, is Atmos. Because they're both fucking phenomenal.
They're
And
fucking phenomenal.
I appreciate that.
So
But
what?
it's jacked up.
It is
One thing,
jacked
I, as any good podcaster would agree with. I didn't look this up before coming on the show, but I heard that the suspend state was not available at launch of the PlayStation 4. Do either of you two remember that being a thing at all back then, or no?
I did not hear that. In fact,
I
I've
remember.
actually heard the other. You can suspend a single game. So if you were to, say, be playing, I don't know, Astro or whatever the fuck you're playing, Spider-Man Morales, you jump out of that, go into the PlayStation store, hang around in there, perhaps even watch Netflix. And I don't know if even Netflix will work because it's technically another app. Say you're in the PlayStation store and you're just browsing around or whatever else and fucking off. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to get back at my game. You could do that.
Mm.
With
No,
one-
I get that.
and that's just the same thing that the PlayStation 4 has.
Right.
I think no, I'm not questioning that, but I
Okay.
heard that the PS4 did not have that suspend state at launch, and they patched it in with one of the earlier patches.
That is
So-
true.
But what I'm getting at is, if this is a popular enough request, I'm hoping that they can then patch in
Yeah.
the.
I think they have a very
So-
long list of things that they knew weren't going to make launch that are going to be coming
Yeah, that's a good point.
within 6 months.
I hope so. I hope so. And here's the honest to God truth. I want to buy a PlayStation. I really do. In fact, I've technically already purchased one. I haven't decided if I'm going to resell it or not. Pardon me for my sins, dear Lord. But I have had thoughts that I am a little bit disappointed in myself. That I'm basically sunk costs into the PlayStation 5 ecosystem right now. Because if I could do it all over again, as of right now, I would have made my primary console this last generation the Xbox One, and my exclusives console the PlayStation 4. If I could do it all over again right now.
Well, and
Yeah.
there'd be nothing stopping you from. I mean, if
Right,
you were going to keep
especially
your
those-
PS4 anyway,
600 games.
no, keep your
No, but you don't play
PS4.
those games anyway.
What's the
what
problem?
does it matter? For me, you know, a lot of these things we're griping about and complaining about are all UI and UX and software
Correct.
items that can get patched in. I mean, we're here to play games at the end of the day, and PlayStation's where all the games are that I want to play in particular, and they're going to run fast, and the loading screens are going to be awesome, and so that's
true.
why I don't have any desire to to sell my console. I'm excited for and they have the haptic controllers and the feedback and the cool controllers and everything. So
It's awesome. It's so
we-
good. It's so it. Despite my begrudging about all this bullshit, I'm so very excited about the PlayStation 5 at the same time, and
Same.
the new Xbox. I'm excited. I am truly excited for.
We're
both.
mad at them because we want them to be better.
I want them to be the best versions of themselves
Right.
immediately.
Exactly.
well, no, but it's good. I mean, competition is going to breed.
It's
excellence,
true.
right? And
I am glad
Xbox
Microsoft's kicking them in the ass.
Yeah, because they'll hopefully kind of push them to be better. So
They're going to
Yeah,
have to,
so-
because like Woods brought it up, it's getting pretty close now. Where are you gonna, if that UX is that far behind, are people going to end up with both consoles more so than they did before?
It's not even that. For me, the primary number one thing is Xbox has said that I will be able to play any Xbox game I play or I buy this generation for any future generation they ever come out with.
Yep, that's pretty sweet.
That's it for
well,
me.
that along with Game Pass and Play Anywhere, and
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
it's just a matter of what games you'll
Give me
be
my
able to play.
figure the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 PC, motherfuckers. Figure it the fuck out. Figure it the fuck out, and I will saw off my right nut and send it to you in the mail.
Oh,
You heard it here
shit.
first. This is live on
All right,
YouTube.
all right.
Woods is going to cut off his right nut in a future episode of the Raw Cuts Gaming podcast.
Fortunately, shipping won't be very heavy for that package, so don't worry. And with that,
I
think
got
the pack-
shot on live fucking YouTube. I got shot in my chest.
It hurts so bad.
with
killed me.
that, we can get rid of all this negativity. I guess I'll say this: any other gripes you guys want to air here prior to launch,
Oh, good.
or if we beat this horse? Okay.
Can we make fun of one more thing with your next
Yeah,
article you
please.
have?
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, go ahead. What you got?
Okay, so this one was more of a conundrum than a gripe. The Verge reported that via the remote streaming app, if you keep your PS4, you can remote play your PS5, including your PS5 games.
This is such bullshit.
So, therefore, you can use your PS4 DualShock on your PS4 to play your PS5 games, even though your DualShock will not connect to the PS5 to play PS5 games.
This is so crazy. And like, these are the random weird bullshit tests where people are like, you know what, Sonny, I'm going to call your bluff.
Right.
You can take your PlayStation 5 controller and seamlessly hook it up to your PlayStation 3,
Right.
but you can't hook it up to your PlayStation 4 if you wanted to.
Right.
And your PlayStation controller can't, for whatever fucking reason, hook up to your PlayStation 5. But your PlayStation 4 controller worked just fine with your PlayStation 3.
Right. It was all bullshit.
I
But yeah,
was
it was-
pretty pissed off when they came out, because I really wanted to use like my DualShocks or like my backup controller whenever Woods came over. Can make him use the Mad Catz controller
It's true.
and have him be
The
the bitch. I was
gold-plated
pretty
one?
pissed off
Yeah.
when
Give
yeah,
me that bitch DS4 controller.
yeah.
I've been playing that thing for 6 years. I got you, motherfucker. I got you.
Yeah, no, it was definitely one of those things where someone called their bluff and like, oh, you want to put this app on there? Well, we're gonna try it using that DualShock on there. So
Yeah. It's just hilarious that, you know, they come out with one thing to try and be a little cool on the UX side, and it like just ends up busting a myth that they created for themselves.
It's like the live that Control
Correct.
did earlier this summer, right? Where they're like, oh no, we can't do this for technical reason, and then it accidentally posts to the fucking PlayStation Store.
yeah.
Like, bruh,
yeah.
you're lying. You're lying.
Big
You've been
time.
caught in the lie.
So another quirk with the PlayStation 5. So Sony came out today, just right before the show recording, and Wizzy found this little nugget of information. They announced what they're doing with PlayStation Plus. Wizzy, what are they doing with PlayStation Plus?
They're giving us PS5 games.
Woo!
There was
That
some.
was your weatherman update, by the way.
They were
I like it.
giving us some consternation about what they would be doing. Will they still be giving out games? Will they still 2 games? Will it be 4 games? Will it be 0? You know, they announced they will still be giving out 2 games a month, PlayStation 4 with the hopes of working in PlayStation 5. How and when that will be coming, we're not quite sure yet, but we will still be getting our free games every month.
Right. Awesome. It's super dope. It's obviously, they've already announced, the first 2 you're getting. So,
well,
awesome.
I guess the first 2 but they haven't announced if something's dropping in
between.
Was it December?
Right. It would be December. It would be December. They haven't said yeah or nay. I doubt it, but that's okay. I'm just glad that it's going to continue. They're already making an active effort to make it continue, whether it's every other month for the first year, which it currently is slated to be, and hopefully not every third month, which is currently not slated to be. So I have every reason to believe that at least for the first year, every other month you will be getting some sort of a PS5 title or PS5 upgraded version of a PS4 title. I have every reason to believe that thing is possible, in addition to your 2 PlayStation 4 games that you're usually getting, which is great. It is great. However, if you have Games Pass Ultimate, you will be able to play every Microsoft exclusive for free on launch day.
Halo and Gears, here we come, baby. So the other piece of positive
Elder
news
Scrolls.
Yeah.
Skyrim.
Fallout Shelter.
Jesus Christ. Can't believe people are still playing that game.
Yeah. So I think you put this in here too, Woodsy, that Sony announced that PlayStation 5 games will be region free. So if you want to be buying games from elsewhere, you'll be able to do that. Yep. And then
that's badass. Love it.
No surprise. That's been the way it has been since the PS3. So.
Any additional thoughts there, DL, or just?
It's just another cool deal to make it one cohesive ecosystem. It's pretty sweet. So if some shit's sold out here, and like you, CJ, you love those the Eastern games, right? So like shit is not available here for sale or whatever. You don't got to jump through a bunch of goddamn hoops now to get one. It's awesome.
And there's a lot of shit like that, and there is a segment of the gamer base that goes there, and the reason that those games aren't slated to actually be sold in the West is strictly actually because of the fact that they budget them to be so successful, and therefore we're going to spend X amount expecting this return, and we're not going to invest more than X amount, and usually anything X plus Y would be translation and voice acting in the English language or other languages.
Yeah.
So they just keep it Japan only.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they say primarily Japanese games. So, but the region free thing has been a thing for a while, and it's good that it's continued. There's no reason for it not to. It's just arbitrary and ridiculous. If you want to play a game that you can't understand verbally or audibly or visually, then that's your prerogative.
Correct. Well, and what's nice about region free is that they must be kind of like Netflix and all that builds in. I'm assuming you can throw subtitles and everything on there now, universally.
Right. And I said what I just said, and that's obviously a purposefully ignorant statement. Of course, there are persons in the West or the Western world that speak Japanese exclusively. That aren't necessarily.
Well, I just meant you wouldn't be stuck with it in a foreign language.
Right, but the problem is you're accessing it via your IP. So if you want to buy the digital title, right. So it's you don't even see it in the store.
Oh, man.
You don't even see it in the store. You'd have to have it. You literally have to buy them imported from eBay or go to Amazon Japan.
These games, so I can go in the settings and just tell it.
Yeah,
switch everything to
that's what
Japanese.
You used to have to trick it. On the PlayStation 2, you had to trick it. But since the PlayStation 3 onward, there is just no... They don't discern between.
So game reviews are dropping. We'll kind of buzz through these quickly here. But Spider-Man Miles Morales got a 9 from IGN. Kind of getting those 8, 9s, 9.5 or so. Astrobot, Assassin's Creed, and Bugsnax all got an 8. So they're getting, those upper upper higher reviews, and a slight blow to my heart. Yakuza 7 got a 7. So
Oh
this
no.
is the kind
The
of
change in
JRPG.
format for that game.
Yeah. So apparently it works fairly well. There's multiple characters you're playing with at once, so it doesn't bog it down too much doing these select actions. But as with the other Yakuza games, it gets pretty repetitive, and the grind ramps way too high at the end, allegedly. So I was a little sad to see that. But I will be getting that down the road, but just not right at launch. So any of those reviews tickle your fancy? No 10s yet, so we haven't seen the first
No
10.
10s.
But
I don't think it. I didn't expect anything, even out of Miles Morales. I mean,
well, I'm curious to see what Demon Souls is. Demon Souls review hasn't dropped yet. I don't remember what it got initially, but I thought it was like a 9 or a 9.5 or something. So
Nice.
I don't know. I guess. Oh yeah, you're right. That might be pretty highly regarded, but it is. The thing it doesn't have going for it is the fact that it was the first of its kind, and they've done so many. They've fine-tuned that gameplay and that whole RPG experience in the meantime, a number of times. So we'll see. I'm curious to see how that comes out as well. But I mean, it's good. It's encouraging. You have above average to very solid offerings for some of which are
Launch,
console
yeah.
exclusives at launch, and that's great. So, I mean, and this is always the gripe against Xbox right now, but it's a valid gripe. It's a lot more than they have to offer, which is basically none.
it is so true. So another thing, the last piece of news here I want to touch into before we hop into some Demon Souls trophy lists is Mass Effect Remastered Collection came on the infamous N7 day. The often passed and not nothing happening on N7 November 7th. They announced the remastered collection is coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One with forwards compatibility, and it's targeted for spring of 2021.
Nice.
Anything you guys excited for that at all? Did you guys play Mass Effect or not really?
So
I have not, but I'm excited. I'll pick this up because I've
You
always
should.
wanted to get
This
those.
is this is a game
play.
for you. This is
Nice.
this is definitely a game series for you. You will love this.
I love
Yeah, you will love this. It's great. I'm excited for it. I actually only ever played the first one, and I've always been meaning to get around to 2 and 3, so it'll still be new to me for the most part. It's great. This has been an active rumor in the gaming industry for years now. Obviously, like Mass Effect is one of the most iconic trilogies of the preceding generation to the technically still current one. So it's been rumored for a while, but EA took a weird stance on remasters. Like they said they weren't going to do them. That wasn't the way they wanted to make money, which is ironic because they want to make money every other shitty fucking way. So
Fuck you, EA.
One may
Apparently
say
now
manages
it's
to
worth their
remastered
time.
version of itself every.
it'd be
year.
nice. I guess I technically don't know who did the remaster, so I could just be making an ass on myself right now. But if in fact it is BioWare, it'd be really nice if BioWare fixed Anthem first.
What's
Ain't gonna
that game?
happen. Quit asking. They also announced
Still love
they're
that game. Give
I
me
know.
my Iron Man fantasy, bro.
That was a fun game, man. It was fun for the price we got it for specifically, like $5 or whatever it was.
Best $5 ever.
That
was a good $5.
It was a good $5.
It was good for a few times. And they also announced that they're working on a new game, a new Mass Effect game with like the senior
Ooh.
team or whatever. So they are still going back to that well. So
So
I
I
don't-
wonder though. So, and I haven't read up on Reddit or anything like that, like how people have like dissected that photo that they came out with, and to see if people are like assuming it's going to be Andromeda 2, or they're going to try to fix it, or they're just completely just moving on from that storyline. I'd be curious to know what people think.
Well, just personally, I just given like all the bullshit that happened with Star Wars and all that other nonsense, like I think the most exciting thing would be if it's starting a new. It's a kickoff for a new trilogy and no one even knows. Like
Yeah, but
everyone's just
they
assuming
already
it's
did that.
gonna.
But they already did with the Mass Effect Andromeda, and it fucking failed.
We'll do another one.
It did. Yeah, I like Mass Effect Andromeda, but I played it after a lot of the bugs were
Right.
fixed. So
It's gotten a lot better.
So yeah, I'm excited to play it. I've only played Andromeda, and like I mentioned, I loved it. So I'm excited for this to come out. It's like
It's a
spring of
great
next year,
series.
so.
So do you are you familiar with the Knights of Old Republic?
Oh yeah,
Game
that
series?
was one of my favorites games.
So the guys who
two
made
games.
that made the Mass Effect trilogy.
That's
You will.
dangerous because I'll play those a lot then.
Yeah, you'll love
Yes,
it.
you will. And they're long too, so you'll get your money's worth out of that.
Excellent.
$60 for 3 games and unlimited hours. So
And you
yeah.
can sleep with aliens.
Ooh, now you got me in there. Can I sleep with 2 aliens at the same time?
Gotta pay extra for that.
No
I will.
spoilers.
So yeah, so that's the news of the week. So I touched on at the start of the episode, the PlayStation 5 trophies have started to drop. And the first ones I want to touch on will be the first game that I'm playing, Demon's Souls. So as you guys know, our loyal listeners out there, I did Demon's Souls a couple weeks ago.
Shout out to Ryan.
Shout out to
Fuck
Alex
you,
and
Ryan.
Ryan enjoyed the balls everyone sent him last week. But
Sure did send him mine.
I'm pretty stoked for this trophy list, guys. Blue Point made almost an entirely new trophy list. So each of the games have roughly the same number of trophies. And you get trophies still for killing the same bosses and for, getting all the rings and all the miracles and spells and all that jazz. Where they diverge, they take a hard left turn is all those crazy upgrades I was telling you all about, where it's like a 0.5 drop percentage for the upgrade material. Those are all gone. There was 18 or so that were in there. All of them are gone now. And what they put back in its place is these kind of challenge runs of sorts. So you get a trophy for beating one of the bosses, but if you beat, like the Dragon God, for example, with using the Hands of God, which is his hands weapon versus a sword or miracles, if you just beat him with that, you get a trophy. If you kill the tower, there's one of the trophies is kind of a puzzle boss where you're in the middle of this tower around you and you fight. It's the big knight that all the marketing material has, that giant knight.
Yeah.
So beating that boss, well, the challenge that is you have archers shooting arrows at you.
Of course.
Well, what you can do is you go up and you kill all the archers, and then it makes that guy relatively easy. So the trophy for that is kill the tower knight without killing any of the archers.
Right.
So there's a lot of challenge runs built into it.
I
the
love
challenge runs are not going to be easy, but the people who play Souls games are all challenge run type folk.
Right.
So it makes this platinum much more attainable.
So we talked about this exact same thing on a previous episode, right? Where we talked about are the fanboys are like the hardcores fanboys gonna be pissed off because they put in those miles to get that platinum for the first Demon's Souls. So I didn't even hear about this update. I'm super excited about it because I think it's way better than having to fucking rely on random number generation loot drops. Fuck that bullshit up the ass and sideways.
Oh yeah, platinum should never be RNG based. Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah,
Yep.
super dumb. But I'm sure there's a certain segment of that hardcore base that's still.
Oh yeah, they'll be pissed off.
Yeah, well, a lot of the Souls fans are like that, so which is unfortunate. But I'm pretty stoked because this makes this platinum much more attainable for me. To the trophies.
Everybody else that doesn't want to waste 1,000 hours into that game.
It's in line with. I mean, it's still gonna be a decent, a relatively hard platinum, like I mentioned, with some of these challenges that you got to do. But it's in line with a lot of the PlayStation exclusives that they make their platinums attainable. Challenging, some not so challenging like Spider-Man, but some challenging but attainable. Some of the trophies that I wasn't so stoked about is the multiplayer ones. Like I don't like playing multiplayer in those games, and one of the trophies is you have to go in as an invader into someone else's game and kill them, which I don't think I've ever done in Souls. All the Soul fans don't hate me, but I'm not a big invader, so I'm gonna have to get good per se at invading folk. But yeah,
that's cool though. I like that. I like that they have that one because it forces you to try to adopt to that sort of playstyle, so you get to then fully appreciate that aspect of the game.
and you have to also another one of the trophies that I like. I like doing, but is go to another player's game as a helper and help them beat a boss. You get a trophy for that. So I gave Blue Point pretty high remarks. I haven't played the game yet. I haven't fully batted the list, but I just kind of skimmed it. I wanted to give everyone kind of an update on my initial thoughts on it. So I kind of gave them kind of roughly an A minus for their trophy list. I'm stoked to see all these stupid RNG upgrade trophy shit out of there. So so kind of the Demon Souls trophy list on what to expect come Thursday. So Woodsy, what you buying?
Oh, hold on, my homie.
So what's in your cart?
Oh God. I'm going to look. Come on, there we go. So I had a decent amount of things in my cart. And that was before this like indie whatever sale that got going on, and I stopped. I decided about like 5 minutes because there's like hundreds of games in this indie sale, right? And I decided, okay, no, not gonna buy anything until I've. What? My cart got emptied.
You bought it all.
You bought them.
I don't remember.
You got drunk last night. You bought it all.
Oh, I gotta go to my recent purchases.
Uh-oh.
Cuts Gaming exclusive. So while we're doing this, I want to touch on a side note I meant to touch on earlier, but got sidetracked. Raw Cuts Gaming exclusive a few weeks ago. One of our insiders gives information that you'd only be able to buy consoles online and pick up in store. They won't be available in store. We don't want any pandemoniums at the Walmarts of the world of folk trying to get a hold of their consoles.
Killing each other in the parking lot.
But various stores will have different quantities of consoles. So just because you go on to, GameSpot or GameStop or Target or Walmart.com or BestBuy.com and try to buy one at your local Best Buy, expand your radius a little bit bigger because one down the road may have more in stock. So start refreshing those browsers come Wednesday night. We don't know when that will go live, or our industry insider hasn't gotten us that information yet.
Hopefully
Wario,
we'll get a scoop on that.
Wario and everybody else on Twitter, and next time y'all want to pop off that news, might want to give us a holler.
At Wario64, if you want to join our Raw Cuts Gaming DM thread, you're more than welcome anytime.
Get that inside info, that crack-a-lackin' inside info.
Yes. So now that I gave a shout out to our industry insider Woodsy, did you buy 15 games or did you not?
They all got removed from my cart somehow, but I'm gonna buy a few.
Your cart timed out.
Mad. It did time out.
That's one of those new feature upgrades.
Aspire VR Operative is definitely one. That one looks super dope. And there's actually a bundle for Aspire VR Operative and Killing Floor Incursion for $20. That one I definitely will be purchasing. That is.
I want to hear definitely will be playing.
I'm sorry, what?
I want to hear definitely will be playing. I hear I'm definitely super excited to buy this. I never hear man, I'm going to play that and it's going to be great. I am so excited to just buy it.
Hey, D, I got 3 words for you. Mind your business.
Oh man, treat yourself.
Oh man. So
treat yourself.
We're going a little bit long here, but I want to hear an update. Where are we at with Sniper Elite 3? Have we had a community gaming night on that yet, or no?
Barely 10 minutes past where we were when the last time I discussed it was. So, I'm again sorry. It was a distracting week for myself, so couldn't quite get it done. I will try to do a live stream again this week. I don't have a furnace to deal with, but my daughter is home because COVID reasons. For tomorrow will be the 6th day in a row.
I believe at the start of the episode said we beat COVID. I don't know if the news has gotten across town yet.
I feel it was another Raw Cuts exclusive. We're going to wake up tomorrow and it's going to be gone.
Exclusive. We beat COVID. So
we beat COVID.
You heard it here first. It's over.
I'm going to stand outside with a quote on a bulletin board.
Go home. It's over.
I hope Fox News covers me.
With all that tomfuckery behind us, yeah, we did make it through an election though. So with all that tomfuckery behind us, that concludes our 17th episode of the Raw Cuts Gaming Podcast.
Whoop, whoop.
We thank you, the listener, for putting up with our bad rambling, our piles of shame, our bitching and moaning, our excitement, and all of our juicy.
CJ, you got to announce new content update for later this week. We will be doing unboxing and impressions of the PlayStation 5. This will be happening.
And I'll let everyone know if I manage to snag one at Target.
All right. We look for that this week, and then we'll also have some extra fun content. Maybe we have some ideas in the old hopper, although Woods does, and it's the mind of Woods, so who knows? The old
keeping my pants on, Woods.
So with all that said, if you'd like to join the conversation, feel free to reach out to us, or just tell us how much you hate us. We definitely encourage you to reach out to our Twitter handle at Rockets Gaming, as Woods alluded to. Probably look on there for some of the unboxing content and some of the fun content we got planned for you guys. If you'd like to see us found on YouTube, I had to touch on it earlier, but check out the Rockets Gaming channel. We'd like to get partnered there so you can watch our ads and we can get a fraction of a penny.
Millions of dollars.
Millions.
And millions.
Yeah. So, and if you'd like to reach out to our email address.
Hey, CJ, you can buy the entire edition of Remnant for $35.
Holy shit.
I wouldn't buy that.
Man, I could have an unboxing video of lighting $35 on fire.
You son of a bitch.
You can reach out to us on Gmail at therawcutsgaming@gmail.com. So
send us part.
All that nonsense and what are we gonna send to Ryan D? What are we gonna send to Ryan?
Send Ryan big pictures of balls. Like anything you guys want out there at What Up McNutty. Just the biggest, hairiest thing you can find on Google image search.
Just 8 balls. I want to just send Ryan your balls.
Yeah, send Ryan your balls. That's the name of our write-in contest. Show Ryan your balls.
He did have a good response sending the Bowie juggling balls gift as a response back for our episode last week. So good Twitter follow on that What Up McNutty. So, but D, if people want to specifically get a hold of you, where can we find you at?
Naked Gamer 84 on the Twitter machines with the bird, and Noob_Naked Gamer with the zeros on Twitchers.
Woodsy, if people want to find your hot takes, your Twitter beef makes, your Wayne Gretzky
misquoting,
where can people find you?
Upper Decker Macon.
I didn't land it. Upper Decker at upperdecker.com.
Aaron at upperdecker.com.
You can find me at realdonaldtrump.com.
Nice.
At real Donald Trump.
So if you guys want to see a picture of Woods from college, Google Upper Decker. Image search that.
Oh man.
That was, just so you guys know, not fake news. That was actually real Donald Trump.
Send him pictures of Upper Deckers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, all your Upper Decker photos can go to at real Donald Trump.
Oh, that's true.
So,
directly there.
If people want to get, but if people do want to get a hold of you, Woodsy, where can we find you?
At real Donald Trump.
All right. I guess he's losing his he's losing
Woods.
his POTUS handle, isn't he? So he's got to hand it over to Biden. So
I don't know. We'll have to see. At Woods_Wads with the Z, WODZ, on the twits.
And you can also check him out, like I mentioned earlier, at the Rockets Gaming Twitch channel. He'll be streaming there from time to time. Hopefully, Sniper Elite 3.
Minnesota finally got their first win this year.
That's
Go
true.
Groves.
Hopefully it's not the last one.
Rolling through touchdowns, yeah. Waste Iowa. So, and if you want to find me, your resident trophy hunting host, you can find me on Twitter at CJ Reindl, and maybe some unboxing videos later this week on the old Raw Cuts Gaming Twitter handle.
Oh,
so,
shit.
Some POV unboxing videos.
It's always sexy time.
No.
If
CJ
y'all,
is going to get unboxed.
If y'all made it to the end of the episode, you get the sexy time, which I know you guys come for. We thank you guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Love you.